Following a successful operation yesterday, a new group of hostages and prisoners are due to be released today.
Ukraine suffers its largest drone attack of the war. Over 70 fired at Kiev, wounding at least 5 civilians.
The first group of hostages being escorted to Red Cross vehicles to be transported to Israel via Egypt. There was joy and relief on both sides of this war on Friday night as the minutely prepared exchange went ahead without a hitch. 13 Israelis, including 4 children, 10 Thais and 1 Filipino released on the one side. And in the West Bank, 15 minors and 24 Palestinian women returned to their families from an Israeli prison.
أنا صح مبسوطة بس بنفس الوقت الإشي كثير بيضايق الموضوع كثير بيضايق كثير إن إحنا يعني ثمن الإفراج عنه هو عمليا دم الشهداء اللي نزل بغزة. أنا بتمنى إن هم كلياتهم يكونوا بخير حاليا وإن شاء الله بتنتهي الحرب قريبا.
While the 4-day truce appears to be holding, this is just a pause in what has been a deadly war with massive destruction in Gaza.
במהלך ימי ההפוגה צה"ל ישלים את ההיערכות ואת המוכנות לשלבי המלחמה הבאים. כוחות צה"ל מוכנים ודרוכים בכל הזירות. המדיניות שלנו ברורה. נפעל כנגד כל איום למדינת ישראל.
Israel reiterated, however, that its goal remains to destroy Hamas. Both sides are under pressure to extend the 4-day truce to allow for the release of more hostages and to get further humanitarian aid into Gaza. Israel says it's received the list of captives to be released on Saturday.
Ukraine's military says Russia has launched its largest drone attack of the war. Russia launched 75 Iranian-made Shahed drones against Ukraine, of which 74 were shot down by air defences, the Air Force said. Kiev was the main target, but the Sumy, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporizhia, Mykolaiv and Kirovohrad regions were also targeted. At least 5 civilians were wounded. Several buildings were damaged by falling debris from the downed drones, including a kindergarten. The assault on Kiev caused power outages in 77 residential buildings. Ukraine's energy ministry said 17,000 people were without power in the Kiev region as a result of the attack. As winter approaches, Kiev is preparing for a new campaign of massive Russian bombardment targeting its energy infrastructure. Ukrainians fear a winter similar to last, when millions of people were left without power when the weather was at its coldest. On Saturday, Ukrainians remembered the millions of people who died of starvation in 1932 and 33 under the Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. Known as the Holodomor, not only was it a preventable famine, it was one that was deliberately planned by Stalin.
День пам'яті жертв голодоморів. Коли ми відчуваємо великий біль і гнів водночас. Від неможливості забути, зрозуміти і тим паче пробачити жахливі злочини геноциду, який пережив український народ у 20 столітті.
Russia didn't mark the day, but it did launch its largest drone attack since the start of the invasion, according to Ukraine's military. Starting in the early morning, and for more than 6 hours, Russia launched 75 Iranian-made Shahed drones at Kiev.
All quiet at this Finnish border post. This after Finland temporarily closed all but one of its 8 border crossings with Russia from midnight on Friday in a bid to halt the flow of asylum seekers. More than 800 migrants have entered the country via Russia in recent weeks.
No, olemme varautuneet siihen, että meillä on mahdollisuus käsitellä hyvinkin isoja massoja, mutta tällä hetkellä tosiaan tilanne on rauhallinen rajalla ja katsotaan mitä päivä tuo tullessa.
Meanwhile, Estonia has begun placing cement blocks on the road in the border town of Narva after an influx of Syrian and Somalian migrants last week. Like Finland, Tallinn and Latvia have accused Moscow of sending migrants to their borders with Russia, a move all 3 nations have described as a hybrid attack operation on Europe's eastern border.